Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Econ Prof.Podcast. Today, my guest is Cynthia Armas from Ecuador. She's a PhD candidate in economics at the University of Barcelona, and we're going to talk about her research paper, the first paper of her PhD thesis. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Akin. Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm glad to participate with you.
Thanks. Welcome. So, can you explain us your research paper, please?
Yeah, for sure. Well, basically, my first paper talks about the existence of directed technical change when there is increase in the skilled labor force. I argue that when these two phenomena happened together, the economies will move towards high income levels during structural transformation. What do I mean with high income levels? I mean that during this structural transformation, people will be allocated into sectors that produce the most, let's say, no? For instance, skilled services or high-tech industry. That's what I argue in this paper, basically.
Okay. So, but are you considering only services industry, or you also testing some, for instance, manufacturing industry too?
Yeah, actually, I am considering all the sectors of the economy, and I divide into 6 sectors, let's say. Agriculture, I consider the industry into low-tech industry and high-tech industry. They are divided by the technology intensity in these sectors, and also the services. And the services are divided into skilled market services, skilled non-market services, and unskilled services. I take the level of education of workers to be at least tertiary. It is to have a bachelor degree, right? To divide skill services. So basically, the skill market services are those which the prices are regulated by the market, okay? The skill non-market services are those regulated by the government, basically, and the unskilled services were basically all the other services, no? The skilled market services are real estate, finance, and the utilities, for instance, and the skilled non-market services are, for instance, military, public administration, and so on, no? That is the division of the economy in my paper.
Okay. For clarification, so is paper basically arguing that technical change is driven by the skill upgrading, or it's vice versa?
Actually, the directed technical change that I referred to is the one that is defined by Acemoglu in his paper. What it does mean? It means that firms invest in technology due to the increase of skilled labor force, and this technology is made in order to complement these new skills people are getting. So directed technical change in his paper means this. It means to invest in technology that complements the skills of the workers, no? So basically that's the idea of directed technical change in this paper.
Okay. And so you said that you're testing the analysis among high income countries. So which are these high income countries?
Well, actually, I would like to include more countries, of course, because I am comparing different levels of income, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of data. So I am working with South Korea, the US, Canada, France, Spain, and Italy. Those are the countries that I am working on in my paper.
But so, do you think that firms prefer to invest in technology because they find cheaper high-skilled labor, or because they are simply motivated by the expected profits?
Yeah, actually, when you see skilled people, right, you want to attract them to your firms because you know that they are going to be more productive, right? Then, as a consequence, let's say, you are going to increase your profit as well, right? Because productivity, you know what it means. If one worker has one computer, probably they will produce one product. But if one skilled worker is working with half of this product, for instance, with half of this computer, he will be able to produce also one product, no? So, for instance, that is the idea of productivity of the workers. So basically, if you see that there is a lot of skilled workers, you want to invest in technology that will complement these skills that the workers have. So basically, that's the idea. So if you don't invest in firms, you don't invest, in technology, probably you are missing the opportunity to have a very skilled worker in your firm, no? So basically, that's the idea.
Okay, so you're testing the model on high-income countries, and but do you think this the development, the increase in income level of the countries based on the direct technological change, do you think this is cyclical issue, or it just happens randomly, or the institutions support? Because Ajamolo is working also on institutional economics, topics related to institutional economics. So do you think that are these countries randomly attracted by high skilled labor, so the firms in these countries decided to invest and grow? Do you think this is just a random the development in these countries, or there's a background that is already there, so they grow even further?
Yeah, well, I believe that when you see that one phenomenon is happening right around the world, like it is the increase of a skilled labor force, you want to be better every time, no? So if you see, for instance, because Acemoglu does this, try this and investigates this of the directed technical change for the US, if you see that it is happening for the US, then you probably want to apply this also for your country, no? So basically, probably, and that's the main thing of the theory, the main thing of the research, to see that something is happening, to see that something works, and then try into your country, into your economy, right? And also, again, the increase of the skilled labor force is a phenomenon that happens in all of the world, okay? And also, what also happens is that by the way, the increase of the existence of directed technical change explains why even the supply of this skilled labor force is increasing, why the wage, the relative wage, is also increasing, no? That's the explanation of directed technical change, because if we only analyze the supply, no, the increase of the supply of the skilled labor force, what it has to happen is that the wage, no, the relative wage of the skilled versus the unskilled should decrease because the supply is increasing, no? But then the existence of directed technical change basically explains the increase also of the relative skilled wage. So basically, this is a phenomenon that should happen in all of the economies. If it is not happening in all of the economies, then we believe that there are other factors that could explain this kind of phenomenons, no? Basically, yeah. Basically, that's the idea. So we argue that when there is the existence of dialectic technical change, I can offer relative wages higher for the skilled labor force versus the unskilled labor force, and then these skilled labor workers are also incentive to go towards these skill sectors, the high-tech industry, the skilled market services, and therefore the economy will end up having this skilled labor force in high income sectors, or in sectors that are much more productive than in other sectors. That's the idea.
Yeah. So, but do you think these developments, the directed technical change, do you think this leads to inequality? I mean, well, during the last decade, there was a lot of discussion about inequality. A group of economists, they argued that like Piketty, Sayes, or Zuckman, they focused on the growth of wealth, and some economists like Ajimolu and others, David Autor, for instance, they focused on more technological developments. Do you think that this will continue to grow? I mean, if this is the case, that abundance of skilled labor drives the firms to invest more on technology, and so there must be a continuing development on this. Do you think this will just stabilize the economy in a point, or it would just continue like this, and then low skilled labor completely be out of the economy? How would you project it?
Well, I think that over the time, of course, there will be even more skilled workers than unskilled. But as always, it's like when you compare the economy, the sectors of the economy, you know that a lot of years ago it was the agriculture, the sector that was producing the most for the economies, no? But now, if you see what happened with the agriculture, probably is not higher than the 1% of the production, of the GDP of each country. So, but it doesn't mean that the agriculture has disappeared from the economy. And I think that it is valid also for the workers. I think that also there will be a lot of high skilled workers, there will be low skilled workers, because or maybe what we have to do after some time is that we have to change the idea we have of skilled and unskilled workers. Probably, as a lot of people will have tertiary education, probably after a lot of time, all of us will have tertiary education, no? And then we could change the definition of skilled versus unskilled workers. Probably that is the thing that I would say related to this. But of course, there will be also more abilities, there will be also more skills that firms will look for and everything, no? So probably, I don't know, with this situation we are living right now, probably programming will be even more valuable for firms than before, or people who can work from home or can work on the web page or developing some online task will be even more valuable for firms than before. So probably what would happen is that after some years where more people and more people and more people get tertiary education, we have to change the definition or the separation between skilled and unskilled workers.
Thank you, Cynthia. It was very nice to have you here.
Thank you to you, Ekin. It was very happy for me to be part of your podcast, and thank you for the invitation.
Thanks to our listeners, and goodbye.